They are headed Super Bowl 60.
Trust this team, man. I'm not going to the Super Bowl. That sounds pretty good.
The Seahawks are going back to the Super Bowl.
What our team's been able to do up to this point and how they've done it, we're just blessed.
Yo, boys, ready? Hell yeah. Throw is made. Touchdown, Seahawks. No way. Absolutely thrilled. Who that watch? Shot downfield. Caught for the touchdown. Hell yeah.
The Super Bowl 9 days away, so let's focus on the AFC champs. You know, we've been accustomed to seeing the Patriots in the Super Bowl this century. Since 2001, New England has made 10 Super Bowls, twice as many as any other team in that span. And head coach Mike Vrabel has led an incredible turnaround in just year one. 17 wins, including playoffs, tied for the most by a coach in their first season with the team in NFL history. And Drake Maye will be the second youngest QB to start a Super Bowl behind Dan Marino. And his 72% completion percentage, the regular season highest by a Super Bowl starter all time. Mike Vrabel just spoke minutes ago with an update on Drake Maye. It's new here on SportsCenter.
He did not practice, no. It was illness and shoulder. Illness? I'm sorry. Illness and shoulder.
How much did he practice yesterday, Mike? Tell us.
However you label limited, that's how much he practiced. It wasn't full, and so if it's not full, it has to be down as limited. So I don't know what percentage of the normal work, but it's pretty clear that if you're not, you don't take the normal reps or whatever you would normally take. So it wasn't that much.
Okay, so let's welcome in our Patriots reporter, Mike Reese, NFL analyst, Mina Kimes. And Mike, what more can you tell us about Drake Maye missing practice?
Well, Brian, I want to add to something that you just heard from Mike Vrabel. He was asked to clarify that if Drake Maye was not ill, would he have practiced today? And he said yes. But here's the deal. He said we've dealt with this illness for 6 weeks or so with other players, so he's trying to protect not just Drake Maye, but the rest of the team. He added that Drake Maye was here for meetings this morning. But you can't talk about this without mentioning the shoulder. And I want to drill down, Brian, on what we know and also what I saw with my own two eyes. In terms of what we know, Drake Maye has acknowledged he is not 100%, but he expressed confidence that he would be able to get there by the time the Super Bowl arrives, and he didn't think the shoulder would affect his ability to throw in the Super Bowl. But I want to tell you, it was unusual. When I was at practice Thursday and he was there, we usually see the quarterbacks throw at practice, and none of the quarterbacks threw at practice. So Mike Vrabel said they've got their game plan in for first down, second down, and third down. They'll have 4 practices out in California, and all eyes will be on Drake Maye and how much he's throwing in those practices in California.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, Mina, assuming Drake is good for the Super Bowl on Sunday, give me your key for the Patriots offense to top Seattle's defense, which is top rated in the NFL.
Yeah, well, they're going to need that shoulder to work because Drake Maye, I believe, is going to have to push the ball downfield for New England to have success. This is not a defense you can dink and dunk on. This is not a defense you can run the ball easily on. Fortunately for New England, Drake Maye was arguably the best deep ball thrower in the NFL this year. And the stat I'm interested in, I'm looking at, is the tight window completions. He led all quarterbacks in tight window completions downfield, throwing to Kayshon Boutte, who's really emerged as a threat in that regard. Stephon Diggs as well. Seattle, for the most part this year, has been excellent. They've only allowed 2 yards per attempt on tight window throws, which is second best league-wide. But we just saw Matthew Stafford have success with tight window completions, throwing the ball downfield. I think the New England Patriots are going to have to replicate that, or at least come close to it, to move the ball on Seattle.
Yeah, that was the best thing about Drake Maye this season, throwing downfield. He was probably the best in the NFL during the regular season. Okay, Mike Reese, thank you very much. Mina, sit tight, more from you in just a moment.
All right, meanwhile, the Seahawks are making their 4th Super Bowl appearance and have won 9 straight games, including the playoffs, their second longest streak in franchise history. Seattle Super Bowl teams have something in common, a very strong defense. This is their 3rd time making the Super Bowl while leading the league in scoring defense in the regular season, tied for the most in NFL history. Sam Darnold has been elite when throwing downfield this season. His 32 completions of 20 or more air yards in the regular season were second most in the NFL behind Matthew Stafford. All right, Mina Kimes still here with us. Let's bring in our NFL reporter, Lindsay Theory. And Lindsay, Sam Darnold has been dealing with an oblique injury since the divisional round. What more can you tell us about how he's progressing and how he looked out there on the practice field?
Hi, Amina. Well, I caught up briefly with Sam Darnold before his first Super Bowl preparation practice. He tells me he's feeling good. I asked him, of course, how many times are you going to throw the ball today, Sam? He joked around, 1 or 2. Obviously, he doesn't exactly want to reveal what the plan is for his practice. I can tell you, Amina, he was officially listed as limited on the participation report. I spoke with his teammate, also Kenneth Walker, and asked him really how this offense has been able to continue to progress with their quarterback limited in practices the last couple of weeks. He tells me that it's all about the mental reps that Darnold's been taking, as well as the mental reps that the team is taking with him. He says that's helping this offense as we've really honed in on the details and have stuck to our process. Now, Mike McDonald is expected to meet with reporters at the top of the hour. Of course, we will try to find out as much as we can about exactly what Darnold's plan is as he prepares for the Super Bowl. As you mentioned earlier, just 9 days away.
Yeah, it sounds like Sam Darnold is feeling much better. Mina, what's the key for Sam Darnold to find success against that Patriots defense?
Yeah, I think leaning into something that Seattle's done extremely well this year, which is the play-action passing attack. When they use play-action, they average 10.3 yards per play, which unsurprisingly leads the NFL. They are phenomenal when they put heavy bodies on the field. Sam gets under center. That's how a lot of their explosives originate. Now, the challenge here is this New England defense has arguably been the best versus play action this entire season. They are first in EPA per play and second in yards per play. So this is a real strength-on-strength matchup between Seattle and New England, but it's one I think Seattle's going to have to succeed at for them to push the ball downfield the way they have for much of the season.
Yeah, a matchup I know everyone will have their eyes on during the Super Bowl. Lindsay, thanks so much for the insight. Mina, we'll see you a little bit later on in the show.
Breaking news here in the Sports Center. Coming from the Vikings this afternoon, the team has fired their GM, Kwesi Adofo-Mensah, after 4 seasons. Now, Viking owners said they made the decision after end-of-the-season organizational meetings. Minnesota was 9-8. They missed the playoffs last season after moving on from Sam Darnold. The team had given Adofo-Mensah a contract extension just last year. So let's bring in our NFL senior reporter, Jeremy Fowler, is here with me. Of course, our NFL analyst, Mina Kimes, as well. All right, so what more can you tell us? Because I think, Jay Fowler, people are thinking, whoa, Sam Darnold in the Super Bowl, they got rid of Sam Darnold. Is this the reason why they got rid of their GM?
Yeah, what's crazy, he was just at the Senior Bowl in Mobile. I spoke to him there, and then now released 8 months after he got a contract extension. I was told he wasn't totally blindsided by this because he knows it's a results business. They didn't get it done. They had decent success, not great success. The quarterback evaluation you mentioned was an issue, was a factor here from what I'm told, because Sam Darnold in the Super Bowl, they weren't overly aggressive in re-signing him. Daniel Jones, they tried but didn't get him. J.J. McCarthy didn't get it done. They didn't have a lot of veteran backup quarterback presence going into the season to help J.J. McCarthy. So all that was an issue. Look, it's important to remember that he comes from a non-traditional football background. He's from an analytics-based background. I do believe there was a faction of people in Minnesota that never quite accepted him and the sort of non-traditional way of doing football, despite some good results, and they had some 13, 14-win seasons.
Wow. Mina, give me your reaction to this move.
Yeah, I think what's surprising here is more so the timing than the news, right? Because you said, well, the Vikings said, pardon me, we had meetings after the season. Y'all's season ended weeks ago. So it's hard for me to take that on its face and not feel rather that this seems like a reaction to the optics of the quarterback you let go making it to the Super Bowl in Sam Darnold. And personally, I think that's not the biggest problem here. Obviously, Jeremy alluded to them trying to keep Daniel Jones. I don't think the issue is that they let Sam Darnold walk, pardon me, so much so that they took a shot at a quarterback in the draft, and based on early results, it looks like they missed. The process itself of choosing a young quarterback and then, having the benefit of the young quarterback, rookie quarterback on the contract, that process is fine. And honestly, most people thought they would walk away from Sam Darnold after he struggled at the end of last season. But the problem is that process led them to a quarterback who didn't give them anything close to average quarterback play when he was healthy, coupled with an elite defense. That's why the Vikings are in this position.
Yeah, I think that's a really salient point that you bring up, Mina, because it's not only that Sam Darnold, they let him walk out the door, all of a sudden now he's in the Super Bowl, but you banked on J.J. McCarthy being that guy, and that you had the head coach that can coach up somebody like that. And he just struggled and struggled and struggled, it seemed like, Mina, this season.
Yeah, I completely agree. The truth is, if J.J. McCarthy had given them average quarterback play, I suspect Kwesi would still have his job. Now, you can point to, there's other drafts that he's missed on. He's had some good signings in free agency. All of that certainly factors into this. But to me, this is very much so about the quarterback position, as you guys said.
Again, the breaking news, the Minnesota Vikings have fired their general manager. All right, Jeremy Fowler, Mina Kimes, thank you.
All right, back to the action down under. The Australian